The roar hit them first. Not a normal roar, nothing like a dragon, a crowd at a Quidditch match, or even the particularly enthusiastic screams that followed Draco Malfoy whenever he entered a room. This was deeper, mechanical, like thunder trapped in a metal cage and forced to run laps. The 5 Slytherins stood just inside the Melbourne Grand Prix paddock, black sunglasses on. Draco stared at the track with visible offense.
Those are brooms,
He said slowly.
without the dignity of flight.
Theo not adjusted his cufflinks and watched a car flash past the pit lane entrance.
They appear to be enchanted with wheels.
He observed.
They're not enchanted.
Blaise Zabini said, voice smooth with amusement.
They're muggle machines.
Another car screamed down the straight. Draco grimaced.
Why would anyone build something that loud on purpose?
Matteo leaned on the barrier, delighted.
'Cause it's brilliant.
Lorenzo had already stolen a paddock coffee and was examining it suspiciously.
They also appear to have invented a potion that tastes like burnt beans.
Theo took the cup from him, sniffed it.
Coffee.
Why?
No one knows.
A group of engineers hurried past carrying laptops and headsets. Draco watched them like they were an especially confusing species of magical creature.
No robes, no wands, yet somehow they run this entire operation.
Theo tilted his head.
Muggles are very good at complicated things that shouldn't work.
Another engine screamed to life nearby. Matteo grinned.
Alright, I take it back. This is excellent.
Blaise smirked.
You like it because it's loud and expensive.
Yes.
A young driver in papaya orange walked past them, pausing when he noticed 5 extremely well-dressed men who looked like they'd stepped out of a wizard aristocracy catalogue. Oscar Piastri blinked.
You guys with a sponsor?
Draco straightened slightly.
We're observing.
Oscar nodded slowly.
Right,
Matteo leaned forward.
How fast do these go?
about 350.
Lorenzo nearly dropped his coffee.
Kilometers.
Oscar grinned.
Yeah.
Theo looked impressed despite himself.
Respectable for something that refuses to fly.
Oscar stared at him.
Right.
He walked off, muttering something about weird VIP guests. Another figure strode past moments later, confident and focused. Max Verstappen stopped when he noticed them blocking part of the walkway.
You standing here all day or moving?
Draco frowned.
You drive one of the machines?
Max nodded once.
Yes.
Matteo leaned forward eagerly.
How do you control it without magic?
Max stared at him like the question was deeply stupid.
Steering wheel.
He walked off. Further down the paddock, a tall driver in a Mercedes race suit approached with the polite curiosity of someone who had spotted an unusually dramatic fashion choice. George Russell smiled.
Enjoying the paddock?
Draco gestured toward the track.
We're still deciding if this is genius or insanity.
George laughed.
Bit of both, honestly.
A car screamed past again. Matteo lit up.
Can we ride in one?
George blinked.
Absolutely not.
Lorenzo sighed.
Worth asking.
Moments later, the race session began. Cars exploded down the straight in a blur of color and noise. The ground vibrated beneath their feet. Draco folded his arms.
I still think brooms are superior.
Theo nodded calmly.
Objectively, yes.
Another car flew past at terrifying speed. Matteo grinned like a child.
We need one.
Blaise raised an eyebrow.
For what possible reason?
Matteo gestured to the track.
Imagine racing these against firebolts.
There was a pause. Theo considered it.
That would be interesting.
Lorenzo nodded.
I call the red one.
Draco sighed deeply.
Merlin, help me. I'm surrounded by idiots.
Another car blasted past. Draco watched it disappear down the straight.
But perhaps just one test lap.
Blaise smirked.
There it is.
The beginning of a terrible idea.